Start.
Hello everyone. We have created a web application named as Crwn Clothing, and these are the team members and their works. Crwn Clothing is a full-stack web application that uses a NoSQL cloud database for storage and multiple APIs and is deployed on the Heroku platform. Features of this application include having different functionalities like sign in, sign up using email ID, password, and Google, and adding items to cart and a payment method. Next slide. A use case diagram is a graphical picture of users' possible interaction with a system. A use case diagram shows various use cases and different types of users the system has and will often be accompanied by other types of diagrams as well. First of all, when any user tries to access our website, then he will go to the homepage of the website, and there are options like sign in, sign up, contact, and shopping for categories of the product available. If he tries to sign up, he has to fill in the details to create the account, and if successful, he is back again on the homepage. To do the shopping for various things, there are options of hats, jackets, sneakers, shoes, men's and women's wear of the and various varieties. Users can select any of these 5 categories to see the list of items available, and then user can click on add to cart option on individual product to add them into cart. To successfully check out, if the shopping is done, then user has to fill the payment and shipping details, and if the card details which are generated by API are correct, then the payment is successful and order is placed. Otherwise, details need to be filled again. Next slide. Now web.
So yeah, I will be taking this part. So the front end of the website is made using React.js, which is JavaScript library. So why we have used React? So React allows developer to create large web application that can change data without reloading the page. The main purpose of the React is to be fast, scalable, and simple. So the boxes which are shown here are the component, and they are the reusable component. It means that I have written the code only once but reused it many times. So this saves a lot of time. So what are the features of the website? So in the home page we have shown the different categories for the shopping like hats, jackets, sneakers, women and men. User who wish to buy only sneaker can click on the sneaker component. So there is a dedicated shop icon on the right side of the navigation bar where all the items present in the inventories are shown. User can click on this icon if he or she wants to buy across various categories, that is hats, sneakers, jackets, men's and women's. On the left side of the navigation bar, there is a website icon which will redirect to the home page. So there is sign in icon on the right side of the navigation bar. By clicking on this, it will take us to the sign in and sign up page. So there are two methods of sign in with Google and another is sign in with email. Toggling between sign in and sign up is also enabled. It means that if a user is signed in, it shows sign out, and if a user is not logged in, it shows sign in. User can add the favorite item by just clicking on add to cart, and the items will be added to the cart and saved in local storage for future purpose. On the right side of the navigation bar, there is a cart icon. On clicking on it will show all the items present in the cart. On the bottom side, there is option of go to checkout. After clicking on go to checkout, it will take us to the payment page where total amount of all the items in the cart will be displayed. From the payment page itself, we can modify the quantity of item and we can remove the item as well. For payment, we have integrated Stripe payment in our website. So after successful, the prompt of successful payment will appear. So this is the snapshot of the Stripe payment that we have integrated in our website. The Stripe payment method is used in test mode, which will not accept the actual payment. It's only for the testing purpose, and we have included the dummy credit card details for payment purpose. Now I would like to hand over to Prakar.
I will be explaining the backend part of this website. Next slide. So for backend, we have used Firebase. Firebase is a backend as a service app development platform. Using this, we do not need to manage servers. Firebase authentication integrates tightly with other Firebase services. We have used Firebase authentication SDK to integrate sign-in methods into our website. Next slide. Some of the features of Firebase are: it helps us to store and sync app data in real time. It provides robust authentication methods like Open or 2.0 and OpenID, and it stores file with ease, and it deliver web content faster, and messages are delivered reliably so that the privacy leakage of user does not happen. Next slide. So Firebase provides authentication in multiple ways, but we have used here two methods. One is the email and password-based authentication, in which the user has to just provide his or her email ID and the password to sign in or sign up. And the second one is the federated identity provider integration, in which the user can use his or her Google, Facebook, Twitter, and GitHub accounts to sign in. Next slide. Create a password-based account. So in this, first we have to import Firebase method to our project, and then we import the method getAuth and create user with email and password functions. And then we create the getAuth object, and then we pass the parameters as email, password, and auth to this function, which automatically signs us into the website. And if some error occurs, it also shows using the error.code and error.message. Next slide. Authenticating using Google Sign-in. In this, we have to first import Google Auth Provider, get redirect result, and sign in with redirect function. So sign in with redirect function will automatically sign us in to the website using Google. And then using the get redirect function, we can print the user's basic information like name or email ID. It also provides us with the token. Next slide. Cloud FireStore is a cloud-hosted NoSQL database that web apps can access directly by native SDKs. Since it is NoSQL, it stores data in key and value pairs. So here from the image, we can see that we have a users collection which consists of a document in which the web app as a user has already signed in, which contain keys as email, display name created at, and values as the value provided by the web app. That's all from my side.
Hello, sir. I'm Naman Mantri. I'll talk about the API which we have created for this website. So what is an API? On to the next slide. It is the acronym for Application Programming Interface, which is a software intermediary that allows two applications to talk to each other. To understand it more clearly, let's see an example on how API works. On to the next slide. So when you use an application on your mobile phone, the application connects to the internet and sends data to a server. The server then retrieves that data, interprets it, performs the necessary actions, and sends it back to your phone. The application then interprets that data and presents you with the information you wanted in a readable way. This is what an API is. All of this happens via API. So in this website, we have created our own API in JavaScript language, through which we create all items as a JavaScript object, which can be added to the cart. We have created two separate files, both of which are linked to each other. The first file contains JavaScript objects, which contains information about 5 categories as shown on the home page, as goes with name, hats, jackets, sneakers, women, men. And the second file contains multiple items in each category, written as a list of JavaScript objects. Each item in category contains ID, name, image, URL, and price, which we have set. So this is the first file. In this, the sections is a JavaScript array of 5 objects named as hats, jackets, sneakers, women's, men's. Each object is individual section shown on home page. Each object is assigned a unique ID, and image of every object is taken from the website named as i.ibb.co. And each object has a property named as link URL, which will be used to display all the items in that object from shop data. Shop data is from the another file. On to the next slide. So in this, the shop data is a JavaScript object consisting of multiple key value pair, where each key is category and value is ID, title, route name, which is used to combine shop data object with sections object from the previous slide, and an item array containing all the items of individual category. Like for the hats, the ID is 1, the name is brown brim, and similarly for the different objects, we have written the code for the same. On to the next slide. Now Suryansh will take on the presentation further.
Thank you, Naman. Suryansh Bhandari this side. I will throw some light on our payment API Stripe. Next slide. First, Stripe is a PSP, that is payment service provider, or we can say that it is a full stack solution, meaning Stripe acts as both the payment gateway and the merchant account. Stripe system always keeps the customer on the site and not on any third-party website. The Stripe API is organized around REST. The Stripe API has predictable resource-oriented URLs, accepts form-encoded request bodies, and returns JSON encoded responses and uses standard HTTP response code. Next slide. A great question arises, why Stripe? And here is the answer. First, it makes payment processing look easy. Stripe has found ways to make payment processing easy using resources such as payment intent, payment method, or subscription. Secondly, it is reliable and predictable. Stripe makes sure that your app uses the same version of your API as long as it's needed and makes sure to charge the user correctly every time. And lastly, and most importantly, it is built for its users. Stripe has figured out how to give long-term value and a consistent technical experience. Next slide. Talking about its features, first, it accepts payments via different payment options such as cards, wallets, etc., and that too on different platforms. Second, it processes the revenue optimization, fraud detection, etc. Third, settle and reconcile. It reconciles financial reports, consolidated reports, and settles payouts. Fourth, manage. It manages reports and insights, business operations, etc. Next slide. Authentication. The Stripe API uses API keys to authenticate requests. Authentication to API is performed via HTTP basic authorization. For authentication, there is no requirement of password. API key serving as username is enough. Next slide. Let's talk about the code. From this code, we can see that we have first taken Stripe checkout functionality from React Stripe checkout. And in the Stripe checkout button, we pass total prices of items selected by the user. And then in the function, we use publishable key and token, both of which are used for validating details like CVV of card and expiry date. Checkout creates a safe Stripe hosted payment page so that you can easily collect payments. And publishable API keys aren't secret. They are meant solely to identify your Stripe account. In other words, you may use them in places like your Stripe.js, JavaScript code, or Android or iPhone app without the fear of them being compromised. That is it from my side. I will hand it over to Rishabh now. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Now I will present the deployment process. Deployment means moving a website from local environment to the servers. We have used the Heroku platform to deploy our website. Next slide. Heroku is a platform as a service cloud software that allows developers to deploy, run, and manage web applications. Next slide. Heroku helped us only to focus on the logic of the application rather than worrying about the server configurations and other complex parts. It also provided us with a pay-as-you-go model so that we get billed only for what we use. Next slide. Heroku uses the concept of dynos to provide its services. Dynos are nothing but lightweight Linux containers that are dedicated to run our application processes. Actually, dynos are of three types: web dynos, worker dynos, and one-off dynos. Each application on Heroku is provided with a unique domain that is used to route the HTTP request to the correct dyno. Next slide. We have two options for scaling the dynos as per our need: scaling vertically and scaling horizontally. In scaling vertically, we upgrade the dynos to larger dyno types, which provides the app with more memory and more CPU resources that result in low performance variability. And in scaling horizontally, we add more number of dynos that allows Heroku to route the incoming HTTP request across more running instances of the web server, which eventually improves the performance in case of high traffic volume. Next slide. Heroku platform provides us with the services like the platform stack, the request routing mechanism, the execution environment, and the Logflex logging framework for deploying and troubleshooting our website. Next slide. Now let's discuss the process of deploying the website on Heroku. It is quite simple and developer friendly to deploy a website using Heroku. First of all, after logging into the Heroku account, we have to type Heroku, create the name of the application. In our case, it is Crwn Live. So it will be Heroku, create Crwn Live. This will create a blank application named Crwn Live, and we will be provided with the URL of this blank application. Then to push all our code files to Git, we need to type git push Heroku main. Now main here is the main branch of the GitHub repository. So this will deploy our application to Heroku, and now that URL will be taking us to our original application. Next slide. This is our application listed in Heroku dashboard, from where we can see and manage all the build and commit information. That was all from my side. Now I will hand it over to Anurag. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rishabh. Testing. Web application testing is a software practice that ensures quality by testing that the functionality of a given web application is working as intended or as per the requirements. Testing the website, verify there is no dead page or invalid redirects. First, check all the validation on each field. Wrong inputs to perform negative testing. Verify the workflow of the system and the data integrity. This website is fully responsive, and in the website, all the button and pages are properly working. Next slide. And these are the references. And now Weber will show the how the website is working.
Yeah. So this is how our homepage of the website look like. Uh, yeah. So this is how our homepage look like. We have different categories for shopping. Like we can shop hats, jackets, sneakers for women and for men's. In order to shop, first we need to sign in. So let's click on sign in button. After clicking on sign in, so there are two options regarding to sign in. First is sign in with email, and another is sign in with Google. So let's sign in with Google. So after clicking on this, it will take us to the Firebase, and it will ask email ID from which email for which email ID I want to sign in. So let's suppose I want to sign in with this email ID. So let's click on that. After clicking on that, it will take us to the home page, and sign in will convert to the sign out. So this is one of the features of the website. After that, suppose if a user want to purchase jacket, he or she can click on this component, and suppose if a user want to buy this type of jacket, so he can click on add to cart button, and after adding to the cart, as you can see that 0 is converted to 1. And suppose I want to add this jacket as well, so this jacket is also added to the cart. And suppose if a user want to shop across the various categories which are present in our inventories, so he can click on shop icon, and there are various categories available like sneakers, jacket, men's, hats, and women's. So suppose a user want to buy this type of item, so he can click on this add to cart. So after adding to the cart, suppose if a user want to make a payment of these items, so he can click on a cart icon and click on go to checkout. So after clicking on go to checkout, so all the items that is being added to the cart is displayed here, and the person can add or remove the item from this cart. Like suppose if a person want to increase the quantity of this, so he can click on this, and if a person want to remove, so he can remove this. And after clicking on this, the total of $200 will appear. And so if you want to make the payment, he can click on the pay now button. So after clicking on pay now, the Stripe payment gateway appears, and it's asking for few details like email ID. So let enter the email ID, name, address, zip code, and payment info, city. Let's write this, and payment info. And for card number, let's enter dummy card details, which is 42424242424242, and expiry date is 0122, and CVC is 123. Let's click on pay now. So after clicking on pay now, as you can see that the payment is successful, and the prompt of successful payment will appear like this. And if a user click on sign out, the card will be empty, and total of 0 will appear. So this is how our website will function, and this ends our presentation. Thank you.